Hi everyone, welcome to the second video of our Axum Backend series, and in this video we are going to choose a database to use, and then we'll understand what Docker is and just enough Docker understanding to get started and just start coding. And and we will understand what database connection is, what is a connection pooling and everything. But I'm not going to explain most of the conceptual stuff because again I just want to keep these videos as code walkthroughs. So what I'll do is I'll just link the blog post in the pinned comment and in the description, so you can just go ahead and look at that. And let me just show you the blog post so that you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you'll just go to the second blog post, here you can see we have discussed how to decide what kind of a database do we need. Do we need SQL or no SQL? And then we also understood what our API requirements is. Basically we are building the medium API clone, hence we need users can follow each other, then they can write articles should have tags, and users can favorite or bookmark articles, users can comment on the articles, and also articles that I have skipped unfortunately. So and then just some constraints over here, and that's it. Here I have discussed for our case why SQL is better than no SQL, and so on and so forth, and also why one database and not multiple databases. The very basic reason is for the very beginning, let's just get to the basic medium API clone, and then when we will understand back in microservice architecture and all those stuff, then we will go ahead and implement different kind of database like caching layer using Redis or Postgres or some edge computing stuff and so on and so forth. So that's for some future video. And then I have explained the entire Docker and what what problem does Docker solves, and exactly what it is, how to install it. It's some of its terminologies like images, containers. If you have used a little bit of Docker in the past, then you might have known most of the concepts here. And in the end, what we have done is we have enabled a Postgres container in our Docker, and that's how we are running our PostgreSDB. And that's it. And I have just explained with some images like how your computer and Docker container connects with the same port and how the mapping works. And this is the command how we have ran our Postgres database. So if you'll go through the entire article up until this setup process, then that's fine. And from here I'll explain all the code and the concepts that we need. And here you can see I have explained what database connection is and what are connection pools and why do we need them, and so on and so forth. So it is a very in-depth article, so I would highly suggest you to go over here and read the conceptual stuff. So let's just get back to our code. Okay, so let's get back to the code, and let me just explain. The first thing that we did is we got our new dependencies here. The first thing that we got is SQLX. It'll help us to write our own SQL statements or queries. That's why we are using it. We are using UUID to generate unique identifiers or IDs for our entities like users, posts, comments, likes, whatever the entity will be in the future. We will use UUID to generate its own IDs. And then the next thing is chrono. We are using chrono to get for our timestamps, like created at timestamp or updated at timestamp. Like user model or user entity would have its own created at or updated at timestamp. Like if a user update their own bio, then the updated ad should be updated, and we will use chrono for that. Finally, we are using .env to load our environment variables. So that's all about the new dependencies that we need. Now let's jump back to .env.example first. So what you need to do is you just need to have .env file here, and inside that you can just keep a key value pair like this. If you'll actually follow the blog post and code along sequentially and set up the entire project up until the Docker setup, so you will understand how to get this database URL and how to set it up. So that's why I'm not explaining much here. So after setting up and running your Docker container, I have already explained in the blog post how to do that. So it's super simple, super straightforward, nothing to worry about. So once that's done, just go to the src file folder, and here we have introduced the first thing, that is state.rs. So what this state.rs is doing is it is basically holding our entire API or apps global state. Like the first thing that we need to hold is the connection pools for our database, right? So that's why we have created this struct called app state, and it has a field called db, that is basically our connection pool that is coming from SQLX PG pool. And the first thing that we are doing is we are just writing a constructor for it, where it will initialize by connecting to the database URL that we have, and yeah, then just return the DB instance that we created. That's it. This is completely super simple. Once that's done, we just need to go to main.rs file, and here we have updated the code a little bit. So yeah, let me just explain what we did and what are the changes that we did. So first thing first, we are just declaring the modules here and just saying, yeah, these are the modules that Rust need to know that we have it, like handlers is here and state is here. And then we are just getting our methods from those modules, so nothing fancy. You have seen it multiple times. And then first thing we are doing is loading our environment variables. Then we are getting the database URL from the environment variable, and if we don't have the database URL in the .env file, we will get an error statement like this. Finally, we are doing an initializing the app state use, and just here we are using that constructor that we created and passing the database URL. And if everything is fine, then that's good. If not, then it'll print this error statement saying failed to connect to the database. And if everything is fine, it'll say okay, connected to the database successfully. Now we are initializing the router that I've already explained in the first video what the router is. So you can see we are just doing the same thing. We are associating the /health endpoint with a get method to this health check method, but this time including the entire app's global state that we just have. So let me just explain why we are doing this, or what we are doing this here. So with this with state, we are telling Axum that make this app state available to any handler that request it. Basically, if /health is requesting this health check, then what you do is just send the entire app state as a context to that endpoint too. So this is how we distribute our shared database pool to all handlers. Every time a new request comes in, Axum can provide the state to handlers that ask for it. I hope this is simple to you. If not, there will be more videos coming up and you will gradually understand what this with state is doing. So yeah, don't worry too much about it right now. So yeah, that's basically it. You have seen this. We are just creating the listener, then just printing that server is running and just serving it. So yeah, that's it. And the final thing that we changed is in our handler, we have this health.rs file, and in this health.rs file we are just using this SQL query and just running a dummy select statement, nothing uh, actual or nothing critical statement over here, just to check that okay, SQL query is successfully executing with our database, with our state that we have. And yeah, we are just returning a static JSON object with status okay and database connected. Last time we didn't have this database connected previously, and if there is some kind of an error, it will throw this error and it will return this JSON object with saying that okay, status is error, database is not connected or disconnected, and the error statement. So yeah, that's about it. And we have this in the mod file. So yeah, this is nothing has changed here. So I hope this is very much clear to you, and if I'll just run it, just give me a second. Let me just check if my Docker is running or not. So in the blog post I have shown you how to run Docker through command, but what happened to my Docker? Yeah, so you can also run your container through Docker Desktop GUI. So I'll just hit run and it's running right now. So let's just do cargo run and it should be fine. Yeah, it'll compile because I just downloaded this file. So yeah, okay, my bad. Let me just, okay, I haven't set up my database URL. Okay, I understood what the problem is. Let me just put it here and then I'll come back. Okay, now let's run it. Yeah, so you can see connected to database successfully, server is running here. So if we'll go there, that is localhost 3000. Okay, my bad, we should go to the health endpoint because we don't have any other endpoint. So yeah, you can see database connected, status okay. So that's what we need to understand for this lesson. In the upcoming lesson, I'll explain you a new kind of a repository pattern that is very much standard in the backend ecosystem, and we will understand about migrations, about how database migration works, because that's how we generally prefer to handle database updates or creating a new table or deleting or whatever. I'll explain all those things in details, but just make up in mind that the next one is going to be a very critical one. So you just need to understand up until this point very clearly so that you can understand the next lesson easily without any issues. So I hope you like this video, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.